So almost immediately I fell off, and yesterday didn't do a daily recording as I'd promised to myself, which is why I'm recording this right now, 10 minutes before a coaching session and immediately after my free workshop that I just did, because I thought I would pull back the curtain on what it's like to do this kind of thing. Because one of the things I don't see a lot of out there is people actually sharing the struggles and the agony and the pain of doing this kind of thing. It's totally worth it, but it can be brutal, particularly as a solo business builder, solopreneur, whatever you want to call it. So yesterday morning, I had a plan, and the plan almost immediately completely fell apart. So, as usual. So I had this idea, and I actually built an enormous amount of it. But I've got this thing where I want to deliver a workshop where the workshop exercise actually comes through an app in a browser. So it's an interactive exercise that I can control live from the workshop. And I have actually got the machinery built to do that. I'd got that done, and I mistakenly thought, oh, well, the actual exercise and the front end stuff, the way it looks and what sort of happens when, that'll be fine. That'll be absolutely fine. I'll be able to rattle that off really quickly. That wasn't the case, because while the actual architecture of the software was great, what the AI had created was so far from what it needed to be, and I just from experience knew that there was no way it was going to happen. That I knew I actually just had to completely change plan. And that precipitated a little kind of mini meltdown. I kind of get into this state where I kind of get stuck and overwhelmed. And it's like I can't, even though I'm really under the gun, it's like I can't do anything. I'm just kind of spinning in a stuck way, if that's possible. Anyway, luckily, I had a session with my therapist at 11 a.m. So I did that, and I felt much better. He's absolutely great. And I mean, by this point, I'd already realized that I needed to lower the bar and not create an entirely new piece of software for this workshop, but actually use the software that I've already created, which is behind me, which is my presentation software. So if I just drag the control chip over here. So here you can see I've got all of these slides, and I can control it here, and so it's just normal presentation software, but it's my own. It kind of works for me. Also, the background here, you'll be familiar with it if you watched any of my videos. It's my background. It's my background canvas thing. I'll show you that control chip too. So this is another of the tools. Where is it? Yeah. So here. So that's the control chip for that. I can change all kinds of things. About the background. I've got that in there. So, all of this is actually my software I'm using, but I wanted it to be even cooler than that. And here's the lesson. Okay. If I hadn't had actual people signed up, like over 100 people signed up for this workshop, and there was no other thing to do other than me do this presentation, do the workshop, I wouldn't have made the progress on actually the presenting app here. Because what I did was essentially I was building the slides here, this stuff. which was allowing to me over here in my controls chip, add issues in here. So I save the issue in there, and then I send it to an AI system. I've got this orchestrator thing called the Frankenstrator, which then makes the changes, updates the thing, deploys the thing, and then I've just got to refresh the thing, and then the thing is updated. So there's all kinds of things I added to this. The ability to, I mean, before yesterday morning, I couldn't check that these are all templates, you see. So if I look in here, so these are the different templates that I've got. Yeah. So, you know, this kind of thing. I've got some cool little things going on there. But the problem was this morning, well, none of these, I couldn't move things around. I couldn't hide different bits. So there was a load of stuff. Now I can, right? So I can hide different bits. I can change things. So I did a load of work on the basic presentation software, which is, you know, very useful to me, because obviously all of these presentations are being saved into my system. And so the AIs have access to that. They can see, you know, what's going on. They can see what was done. It's all, and, you know, you can create other content out of this content. So, you know, this presentation is all saved as a JSON file and also a .md file. So there's a mistake there. So it's way, 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 way better than using Keynote or what's the other one called? PowerPoint or whatever. Way, way better than that. It's all within my system. It's all kind of linked together. I can get AIs to update it. But I think this was the first time I really had the visceral experience of using a piece of software like in the trenches or on the cutting edge, like riding the wave at the same time. So I was building the presentation. So I was using the tool while building the tool at the same time. The first time, I mean, I've done that before, but not in such a kind of time. It was like there was a deadline, a serious deadline that I had to hit, and I was way, way, way behind. And actually, the act of doing it, I made so much more progress on this. This is now usable. Before I was actually avoiding using it because there were just too many things wrong with it. But because I was using this and there was a deadline, it was a constraint that forced me to go, no, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to do that. I'm trying to think of there was a couple of features that I wanted that I just said, don't worry about that for now. Oh yeah, that's right. Often I like to draw on my iPad, which then shows up on the presentation as well. So I do that with Figma, usually with FigJam. But I want to do it in here so that I can have this presentation up on there. I can draw on the iPad and it comes up on the computer. Now, on the actual presentation, that was something that was half working, but not quite. So I put that to one side. There was about 5 different things that are in the queue, which I just decided to put to one side because they were hard. Now, if I hadn't have had the deadline, if I hadn't have had the actual people are coming to this, I've got to get this done by a particular time, then there is no way I would have got as far with this piece of software, because that constraint was a very real constraint that forced me to decide what was strictly necessary, what was minimum viable versus what was a nice to have. And so I think, even though it was really, really stressful, and I mean, yesterday I had one pretty major meltdown. And then when I say a meltdown, it's not like I was crying or anything. It's almost like as I said, I get into this stuck state. And then later on, it was just a, ugh, you know, I said to Sally, my wife, today I'm going to be in my own world. So I kind of pre-apologized for kind of being in my bubble. And, you know, I didn't get much sleep, which is why I'm rambling like crazy right now. But what I realized from this experience is that if I can handle it, I'm going to try and do this more often, which is actually put the like the software creation, the software development into a deadline situation where I actually have to use it like I did yesterday. Because this is now like, I mean, there's a few things about it. So for example, that are really annoying. So for example, you see down here, like all of this writing is really thin. I can't see all of the titles. All of the ND, up, down, and cross. N is, what is that? Rename. That is duplicate. That is move up. That is move down. Like, why would you do it like that? Opus. I was using Opus for this. Why would you do it like that? There's a much better way of doing it. You know, there's lots and lots of things about it. The way that you have to select the stuff, there's lots of things which are, you know, not ideal. But again, all of that stuff, it works. I've actually got my own presentation software, which is like I can add, I've actually got this other feature where I can add AI actual codecs and Claude Code and Pi chats into a canvas and talk to those harnesses, so the Claude Code and codecs and Pi, about the canvas, and it shows up within the actual chats in codecs, Claude Code and Pi. So I can add that to this as well, which will again make my creation much better. I wouldn't be able to do that in Keynote. It would involve, like in PowerPoint, it involves exporting it and then importing it and doing that whole context shuffle, which is just a nightmare and uses loads of tokens anyway. So yeah, I'm very relieved. It went well. People seem to like it. I learned a lot. And yeah, what I would say to you, if you're building, is think about how can you make your building, your development, more of a deadline, like a real customer deadline that you have to actually ship by. How can you do that? Because by doing that, it's almost like an automatic way you can sort through what's important versus what's just a nice to have that can wait. So with all that said, onwards and upwards.